Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ace match. What are you doing?
It's a drum roll, dude, because we've got Inori versus Lucky.
Boom.
Let's just start.
All right. Starting up. Ace match time, baby!
Woo!
And we got Inori from Team Rain. Nice. I'm glad we planned that out.
That was great.
And Lucky
from Team FXO. And we're on Shattered Temple. Kind of a throwback.
What would you do? Nope. Hold up.
Hey. All right. So we are on Shattered Temple. Most of the NASTL maps are pretty new. You know, we've big shout out to TPW for making some awesome maps. Artifice, Ohana, Odyssey. We've been seeing Odyssey quite a bit this week.
And it's produced pretty good games,
yeah,
too, man.
actually. Yeah, most of the best games in each of the clan wars have been on Odyssey, so I'm pretty pumped about that. If I were the TPW guy who made that map, I would be very excited to see some world-class players playing on my map and providing some good games. But we are on Shattered Temple, kind of a classic, if you will. And what better way to kick off the Ace match than on a classic Blizzard map?
And I'm really excited to be seeing the Shattered Temple back a little bit. Actually, Shattered Temple is one of my favorite maps. Believe it or not, Shattered Temple is one of my favorite maps, just because it reminds me of the Lost Temple.
Really? I wonder why this is. Do you remember in Brood War when they made Reverse Temple?
No. What a stupid map.
That's the worst map ever.
I hated that map. Although there was one amazing game, TVZ. I forgot who it was against Jelizerg. I'm sorry, Jelizerg. But what happened was the expansions, like the mineral patches, it was actually on like a cliff on a reverse temple.
Yep. And
it was showing to like emptiness, you know? There was just like water over here. And Jelizerg's Overlord went in just to spot out, and he saw the mineral patch and then SCVs mining from it. So he actually thought that it was a fast expansion, which normally people would. There was like 7 SCVs mining from it. What the Terran did really, really smartly, and it was a mind game, he planned out exactly the time when most expansions come up, and he sent his SCVs over to mine from those patches. So,
right, because most Zergs just look and they peek to see with the Overlord if it's being mined from, and then they back off.
And they back off. Well, the back off was really, really weird, honestly. But he backed off, and then Jelizerg didn't even prepare for some sort of one base all-in, and he just got smashed. It was the coolest all-in that only works against, like, the best quality players in the world.
Do you remember who the Terran was?
No. Kept saying that.
Hold on. I was listening to the story, man. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't listen to me a lot.
No, it was actually a really good story.
No. I can't even trust anything you're saying now. JK.
So Inori throws down his expansion. He's setting up a very, very nice wall. And so far the game is looking very standard. I wonder why FXO chose... I mean, I wish we could be talking to the team managers right now. I would say, why did you choose to play Lucky? You know, why not Oz or Gumiho or Linok? What? Wow, what is this? Look what Lucky's doing. Interesting.
Wow, going for the gold expansion. Now we can mine from these 3 minimum patches pretty efficiently, but not too efficiently. These other 3 are going to be tough to get. I don't know if this is completely worth it, but what I do like about it, if he is able to get this up, he will have creep fed directly in the middle of the map. He can start from there. It'll be all nice and dandy. We'll see if he actually does that. For now, he only has 1 queen and no second queen on the way. Nope. Take it back. Take it back, Andre. I took it back. There's a second queen, no third queen out on the way yet.
Oh, wait. Nope, there's a third. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, what I like about this is that in the mid game, what it's going to do is he's going to kill the rocks, then he's going to take the gold, you know, naturally, and then he already has his macro hatch set up. Yeah,
this is like a semi-macro hatch right now. It's not really going to produce him too many minerals, but it's not going to be, you know, exclusively for just its larva. So we'll see how this actually works out on the Shattered Temple. This is the first time I've ever seen this before. Back in Nori's base, though, he's going for the completely standard type of build. He's actually gone 2-gate after
this is a really beefy wall. This is like the most baneling-proof. Well, okay, not the most, but wow, especially the third gateway here. This is like super baneling-proof. He's playing very, very safe.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Wow, look. Imagine a baneling bust right now would just destroy
all these. Yeah,
all his production facilities. That would suck.
But doing a baneling bust like that, you just like banelings, bro. You like them to splatter across everything. That's what I think. Whatevs.
Banelings are pretty cool units.
They are pretty cool units. Look at that. He's already starting his injects, so he's all good and dandy. He is starting to mine from there as well. But, you know, as we were talking about, he can't really mine too optimally off of that, but he does get that little boost here and there. We'll see when he actually goes to remove those rocks, because he doesn't have... Whoa, he doesn't have a lot of units out at this point.
Oh, he doesn't. And, you know, Inori is getting in the 3rd and 4th gas. He's going to get, you know, he's going to have his four gates. We could see a timing push from Inori.
Yeah, that's very, very possible. So... obviously, he is going for the sentries this time in this beginning stage. I think he realized that, hey, I need to do something very drastic in this early game stage. So he's preparing the sentries early, and he will be going for, let's see if it's another round of sentries, or it's, stalkers.
Wow, that's kind of an interesting, interesting move. Usually you see heavy
pushing out soon.
Sentry Zealot here in the early stages, and these stalkers are going to take about half an hour to get out from that very, very confusing building placement.
So I think he does have to push out pretty soon, just because stalkers don't really give you that much.
Wow, looks like he wants to kill these rocks and take a 3rd base. This is a very strange kind of passive play from him. Wow, 4 more gateways coming from Inori. This is really weird, and a Twilight Council. So 8 gates plus blink off of 2 base, so you really know if he really wants to take that 3rd very good.
Wow, Lucky. He is going to actually make an Overseer, and this is actually going around all of the stalkers. So if you can get this over to the other 4 gateways and see exactly what's going on, this is going to be probably the greatest scout in the history of mankind.
Ever. So we do see 8 gates, and this Overseer... Okay. Inori really wants to deny that scouting. He's probably going to...
Of course he does. He's like, Ish don't think so. And this is going to be... Oh, look, he went for armor.
That's really interesting.
A lot of people do shields instead of going for armor if you're going all-in Blinkstalker type of play. So, kind of weird to actually go armor. That basically says, okay, well, you're going to eat into my internal... my health. Well, I'm going to get that +1 armor, but normally you blink back the ones that lose all their shield, so I'm not sure why he actually did that. I'm very unfamiliar with this type of push. I think, obviously, the shields would have been a lot better, but we'll see how it does.
And a robotics facility has been built now as well. And again,
oh, wow.
This is such a crazy building placement from Inori. I can't tell if I like it or don't like it. I feel like it's really inefficient to get your troops out or to retreat from, but it's really great at stopping attacks.
This bottom right-hand expansion might be under attack right here. The Zerglings are going to be pushing in, but nope, he has units in time. Let's go ahead and look at how Lucky is doing. A lot of Roaches and Zerglings are actually pushing forward. He does have Glio Reconstitution. Tunneling Claws is already done. Burrow is done. And there is about to well, there are observers out already, but there's a lot, and I mean a lot of gateway units out.
Yeah.
And this is going to turn out badly, I think, for Lucky if he actually pushes forward.
And yeah, despite the fact that Inori is so far down in supply, the army counts are very equal. You know, the biggest thing is that Lucky has a lot more harvesters than Inori does, and that 3rd was canceled. And I love the fact that Lucky brought the Zergling here.
Yeah, it's super annoying.
Gonna slow him down a little bit, so Inori's just gonna say, you know what, I'm just gonna take the gold instead. He kind of realized that at this stage in the game, taking the gold is much more important.
Yeah, I'm really confused why he hasn't even pressed in though. Normally when you're sitting on 2 base for so long, you should be a little bit
and in fact, he's getting a 9th gateway off of 2 base.
Inori, you gotta attack soon, man.
Yeah.
Lucky is already at 181 supply.
Yeah, this is actually really silly if he doesn't attack soon.
Yeah.
Lucky's taking his 4th base. He already has the gold and a macro hatch.
I don't like this Nexus, but
yeah,
I suppose you have to kind of do it.
Yeah, I mean, what I would do if I was Inori right now, I would literally double expand and turtle.
I don't know if you can even turtle, man. I don't think turtling is an option. You have to push forward.
And for some reason, Inori's also not really... He's not teching Colossus or anything.
Here we go, man. Force fields are off, of course.
Yeah, I would have preferred those force fields to actually lock the roaches in rather than
to zone them out. Yeah. But
interesting.
He's still gonna stay conservative. Income tab showing 66 harvesters to 52. Now Leenock, we've seen him time and time again go this type of, or excuse me, Lucky. Go this type of sort of low drone count. He hasn't really committed in the games we've seen. He hasn't committed a high to maybe that red style when you go up to 80, around there, 70 to 80 drones. Yeah. And I do like this. It gives him a much more powerful army.
Especially with that gold. And I think that's really the power of getting that gold early, is because you can keep a lower drone count and continue to keep your income high. And I love the fact that Lucky is actually coming around here to the side, and because it's going to be really difficult for Inori to reinforce this because of the interesting building positioning. And one Immortal does get taken out. And yeah, look, Inori can't even get through here, really. I mean, Lucky is backing off. Or not. And a nice two-pronged attack there by Lucky. And Lucky is actually getting into the natural expansion. He's going to go after the Nexus. He might even be able to take this out.
He's actually going for the probes right now. That's going to clear out this entire natural. In the meantime, the gold expansion is just trying to be picked apart. But Inori knows exactly what's going on. These roaches will be cleaned up eventually. But income tab showing 36 harvesters to 63.
And
this passive
workers killed. If you look at the workers killed, 20 to 0. That's just... I really like the decision by Lucky to go after the probes. He could have killed the Nexus, but since the gold is up and it wouldn't have made too huge of an impact, going after those probes, though, it's really setting him back.
Now, interesting, Lucky actually went Hydralisks. I'm not too big of a fan of this. I would prefer Infestors in this position, especially with how his economy has been, you know, just booming over his opponent. I would really... well, he has Infestors. Okay. So he has a good army composition.
Roach Hydra Infestor, this is going to be really brutal. And Inori, I don't even think Inori knows that he has Hydralisks. And he's going to be walking into a death trap if he pushes into this. And Lucky's making 5 spines. I love that decision from him. He's just going to be able to set up a really nice concave. Oh, wow. Here comes the big attack.
Yeah, the fungals need to be placed immediately. Those Immortals are doing so much damage against those roaches. Yeah. The Hydras actually can't get into range because of those force fields. Great force field position, and look at that big blink forward. This is going to be the big timing for Inori to actually push forward and try to overcome his big deficit that he's had all game long, and going up to 9 gateways off of 2 base and still being able to overcome this opponent. This is absolutely insane. I cannot believe what we are seeing.
Yeah, this is crazy. Lucky is in a really bad position right now. He needs to scramble to produce as much as he can, but Inori still has so much energy on those sentries, it might not even matter. And here, great force fields once again, and Inori is looking like he's in a really good position, despite the fact that Lucky seems to have been controlling the game for so long, and a big attack, and Lucky just cannot reinforce because of all those force fields. But the Hydralisks do so much DPS. He still might be okay if he can just hold on a little bit longer.
You know what? Lucky gave up his gold expansion. It is actually almost mined out of this position. That's where 2 hatcheries are located. That is just about 2/5. You can even say the mid-left is completely segmented. So that's 3/5 of the production of Lucky. So Lucky is in a bad position. GG. Oh my God. That is absolutely insane. I am mind blown. I'm mind blown.
Yeah, Lucky. Just that. I guess that was kind of his game to lose.
Yeah, well, it was his game to lose. A lot of times we see when you have an awesome economy like that, you drop back, get spine crawlers, get those infestors, and just play defensive until those broodlords. Right. Because broodlords are going to really screw up the army composition of your opponent. You know, you can do the Send style as well, where you just get a ton of infestors, and the big engagement, there's going to be a ton of force fields that go down. You don't care. You say burrow, and then you hold that T button and shift click the crap out of infested Terrans. And that's a really, really powerful way that you can go about, you know, that first engagement. That's the first thing you have to deal with, the first engagement, and then how do you deal with the trades afterwards. But, you know, the army composition of going the Hydras, I don't agree with. The sentry count has been the same all game long. You have those force fields. I think overall the decision making from Lucky was just unlucky.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was...
Oh, man, that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, in the big engagement, the force fields of Inori were so good, Lucky couldn't even get off fungals or anything, and those infestors were essentially useless. And, you know, especially when you're not able to get in range to fungal, why not throw down the infested Terrans? Because he had like 7 or 8 infestors. He could have thrown down a ton of infested Terrans and really swung the tide of that battle. But he really didn't do that. And again, the decision to go Hydralist was kind of iffy, and Inori just powered through because his gateway unit count was so insanely high. The fact that he went 9 gateways off of 2 base, that was just a great play by Inori.
Yeah, it was very interesting opening for sure. I wouldn't say it was optimal for Inori by any means. I mean, having a gold expansion up on your opponent as Lucky did, you know, it just was really, really weird that it worked out that way. But the first engagement was perfect for Inori, and he's going to take the first game in this ace match. So it puts him up 1-0. That's just one step closer for Rain to take this match over FXO. So we're going to go into a little break right now. We'll be back with game number 2 of this ace match. Join us
in just a moment.